BizNews Power Hour.
Yeah, it's the 29th of July, 2021. That means it's Thursday. That means for us, it's the last episode of the BizNews Power Hour for the week. Remember, on a Friday, we have on FMR, Carrie's Corner on High FM. We do not broadcast. And of course, we also have on biznewsradio.com Carrie's Corner, which comes through. So that's the last of the week, and what a week it's been. And we're going to have a lot more information for you tonight. I'm Alec Hogg here with my colleagues from biznews.com, just to give you a taste of what's coming up. The big story of the week, undoubtedly for South Africans, in fact, for people all over the world, has been what went on in China. A plunge in the China tech stocks. South Africa's biggest shares are Naspers and Prosus, which are associated companies, and their value is determined by Tencent, which is listed in Hong Kong, which took an awful hiding this week. It bounced back this morning in Hong Kong, but it's only recovered about 1/3 of the ground that was lost. We go into some depth in this story tonight with Sean Pesh. He is with Ranmore. He's based offshore in London, and he's been warning for a long time now that Naspers was overvalued and that the risk associated with investing in China was not being taken fully into account. And we'll be finding out from him what he thinks about what happened in the past week. Similarly with Piet Viljoen, this being Thursday, Piet is our man who gives us an assessment of what's been going on in the marketplace, just to give us some perspective on it. We've got a big story breaking tonight. They're keeping it low profile. It's Altvest. It's a new way of investing. If you consider the way the rich invest nowadays, they get given the first bite at cherries like Facebook, even Tencent, which was made available to Naspers, which put $30 million into it in, I think it was 1999. But a lot of these early stage investments, these exponential companies, only go to the high net worth individuals. Altvest is going to make that available to everybody in South Africa, and you can put in $100 and have a go at it. We are a partner in the whole of Altvest. We'll be promoting it to our BizNews community so that the BizNews community can participate in this, and indeed members of the BizNews community can even list their companies or horses or whatever assets they want to put onto it. It really is an exciting development, and we'll be talking to Rob Hersoff, Kashik Karan, and Warren Wheatley. Warren is the brains behind Altvest on exactly how it works. That's a goodie coming up. And then we'll be finding out from Francois Norkier, who is the developer of the Port of Gauteng, all about Transnet. It's not a pretty picture, but it is one that we need to know. As we close off the show tonight with our colleagues, our partners in London at the Financial Times, with their usual update on what's been going on in the news. And now with the Chinese tech stocks out of favor, it appears as though the Indian tech stocks are the ones that are going to be picking up or taking up the baton from there. Lots coming up. You can stay with us here on the BizNews Power Hour.
BrightRock believes that with every change in life comes opportunity, and the markets aren't any different. The daily movement in the markets mean change for us all, sometimes small, sometimes big. This daily market report is made just for you by BrightRock, the first ever needs-meshed life insurance that changes as your life changes.
Well, as always, we start off with the news headlines, and BizNews' Nadya Swart has got all of those. Nadya?
South African Finance Minister Tito Mboweni affirmed his commitment to reining in debt amid concerns that the coronavirus pandemic and a week of deadly riots will further erode the state's already shaky finances. In an interview, Mboweni said that we are not going to go to a sovereign debt crisis for now, at least not under my watch, despite opposition to spending constraints. Public finances rapidly deteriorated over the past decade as loss-making state-owned companies, including Eskom and SAA, received a series of bailouts, and the government repeatedly failed to contain its wage bill or tackle graft. South Africa's port and rail company appears to have been targeted with a strain of ransomware that cybersecurity experts have linked to a series of high-profile data breaches likely carried out by crime gangs from Eastern Europe and Russia. The hackers left a ransom note on Transnet's computers, seen by Bloomberg News, claiming that they encrypted the company's files, including a terabyte of personal data, financial reports, and other documents. The note instructed the firm to visit a chat portal on the dark web to enter negotiations. The cyber attack on July 22nd caused the company to declare force majeure at container terminals and switch to manual processing of cargo. Transnet's Durban port alone handles more than half of the nation's shipments and is the main gateway for other commodity exporters, including the Democratic Republic of Congo and Zambia. President Cyril Ramaphosa has authorized the use of almost 1,500 members of the military to help neighbor Mozambique fight an Islamic State-linked insurgency, Parliament said on Wednesday. The use of the SANDF comes as Regional Bloc Southern African Development Community in June approved the deployment of troops to Mozambique to combat a conflict that began in 2017 and has killed thousands. Ramaphosa said the South African National Defence Force personnel would be used between July 15th and October 15th at an expected cost of 984 million rand.
Okay, well, just a little bit more for us taxpayers to fund. I think if people should realize that government doesn't have any money, the government gets the money from us. We as taxpayers generate the money for that. But I guess, well, that's why they were voted into power, to make those kind of decisions. Justin Rowe-Roberts has got the market report. Justin?
The JSE All Share Index was up at 69,500. In the currency markets, the rand strengthened against all the major currencies to 14 rand 59 cents to the dollar, 20 rand and 38 cents to the pound, and 17 rand 35 cents to the euro. Gold is up at $1,824 an ounce. A Kruger rand will cost you around 28,500 rand. Brent crude is flat at $75.50 a barrel, and the Bitcoin price is lower at 580,000 rand per coin. Imperial Logistics has entered into agreement to purchase 100% of the issued share capital of the J&J Group for an enterprise value of 4.4 billion rand. The J&J Group offers end-to-end logistics solutions along the Beira and North-South corridor, specializing in the transport of break bulk, containerized project fuel, and out-of-gauge cargo between Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Zambia, South Africa, Malawi, and the DRC. Imperial, which is subject to a buyout offer from Dubai-based DP World. Imperial shares were slightly in the green on the JSE today. Diversified mining giant Anglo American banked $12.1 billion in earnings in the first half of 2021, reaping the rewards of the current commodity price boom. The company said the earnings were driven by strong market demand and operational resilience, with profit to shareholders hitting $5.2 billion. During the period to end of June, basic headline earnings per share rose to $4.22 per share. Chief Executive Mark Kadafani said that the first 6 months of 2021 have been strong demand and prices for many of our products as economies begin to recoup lost ground, spurred by stimulus measures across the major economies.
And it's funny to think that it wasn't that long ago that people were talking about Anglo-American going bankrupt. Can you believe it? Well, how things change.
This market report was made just for you by BrightRock, the first ever needs-matched life insurance that changes as your life changes.
Well, time now for our next story, and it's all about what's going down in China. Here's Sean Pesh. Thanks for being with us this evening from the BizNews team. I'm Alec Hogg, and my colleagues who've been with you on the program tonight, Nadya, Swart, and Justin Rowe-Roberts, and of course, everybody else back in the office, including our managing editor, Stuart Lohman, and of course, Jared Neves, who is always a contributor to us, as well as Claire Bardenhorst. I better stop there because I think I'll bore you to death with a whole team, but we hope that Dudu Masuku